Okay, I'm going to apologise now before we even start because there are screaming children on a trampoline outside, so if there's any loud yelling noises, no one is dying, I assure you.
That would be our neighbours.
So, we're extremely late with this review, we are well aware of that. Basically, we just decided that since Frankie has had a new piece of furniture announced, which we're not supposed to know about, so shush about that, we decided that we should get the bed as well to complete her bedroom when it does come out. So, this has actually been discontinued pretty much everywhere. There may be a couple still floating around in shops that haven't been sold, but there's no more in production anymore. So we got this one from eBay. In total we paid about £35. In shops it used to be 20. So we've kind of worked out it's the same as if we'd taken a bus, both of us, to the other place where the shop is where we could get it, and got some food out at the time. So that's our explanation for paying extra money towards it. So we have the bed now. So then there's the Dead Tired Frankie design on the front. She hadn't actually been made as a doll yet, but they designed an outfit for both her and Dracula on the beds. So then we have a little thing up there saying, mirror mirror on my bed, got to get some sleep because my battery's dead. And of course it is unassembled. So I think the only one that actually is assembled is going to be Laguna's hydration station. Turn the handle, flip from the bed to the mirror. So if I turn it to the side, then we have some little things about Frankie not being able to sleep properly. Feels like the electricity going to my head. I've never had a dream where you're standing without a stitch on, and then she actually does manage to get the bed in the right place. So then on the back we have the explanation of everything that's going to be in there. So we have the picture for the accessories and the slightly creepy girl looking at herself in the mirror.
With a sticker over the top of it.
Please excuse all of the yelling.
I've just noticed.
Oh, ignore Random and his terrible sense of humour. So there's Draculaura's bed, which is apparently twice as expensive as Frankie's online, so we may or may not be able to get that. And then Laguna's, I think, is even more expensive than Draculaura's, probably by about another 2 times, so no hope for that really. So then that's a few of the accessories that's going to come with. And then of course the basic Frankie in the bed, seeing as Dead Tired wasn't actually out at the time.
Obviously dolls not included.
And then if you look down at the bottom at all of the other dolls, it's so strange to look back and see all of those and know that they've all been discontinued except for these last 3 who are being re-released. So
also, it comes with that, the same as the Dracula one, it came with
a ring, I think it is? Yeah, a ring. Okay, so then on this side we have the Monster High logo and name, and then the picture of Frankie actually being able to sleep properly. So we're going to do something similar to what we did with the Claudine bed. We're actually going to get it out and assemble it on camera so you can see what that's like. Probably everyone has one and has assembled one anyway, but we will just in case anyone wanted to see it. So we'll get that out and attempt to get it sorted now. Okay, so here quickly before we put it together, this is everything as it comes out of the box. So we have our giant, massive instructions, which are actually a double-page instruction spread of how to put it all together. And then it
shows Frankie inside.
And it has Frankie on the back as well. This one they've actually put the hair up on. I think that might be where the hair inspiration for the Dead Tired came from, because her hair was still down on the box. So this is the base, the 2 side parts, what's its basket, and all of the accessories in there. Then we have the crank for the side and the bed itself in a separate packaging. So we'll attempt to open these bags, and then when we have, then we'll try showing how this all goes together. Okay, apparently it's now my turn to build. So, yeah, I'm going to attempt to put it together now and not make too much of a mess out of it. Et voila. Okay, so now that we actually have the bed built, it actually wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be perfectly honest, except for getting this actually attached to the bed itself. So if we go on to the smaller accessories, and then we actually have our dead tired Frankie here with us to test out the bed, and we have what's it when we get to that part. So now the bed for Frankie, unlike the one for Claudine, actually does come with her diary. So it's actually written with her name on there. It doesn't have her little writing for the consequence of reading her diary though.
I think that's kind of forgivable though.
Yeah, because that would be tiny writing. And then it's all the same print as on the actual diaries. And it does actually open. We had a little bit of a debate on whether it opened or not. Ignore the fact that my finger is completely dead. That has nothing to do with building this. And then it has a little skeleton on the inside. For anyone who actually does manage to open it, it's actually very stiff. So then she has a little staple gun.
With a little lightning bolt in the bottom there.
And some rivets. The lightning bolt on each side. It doesn't move though. And then there's her little pen to go with her diary. So we have 2 pens for Frankie now, because there was one with our classroom doll. And then she has some little lightning bolts. Yeah, but they're lightning bolt shaped. And these do actually move. Random obviously very impressed by the fact that these little scissors move.
That's cool.
And then she has a little needle and thread. And unfortunately this doesn't really move. And it's very thick and very oddly tied at the end. That's going to leave a really obvious mark on whatever it is she's trying to sew. Which is probably why some of her sewn together shoes and outfits look so haphazard.
But we still love them.
Yeah. And then we have her little juice drink with her little
which looks like
extra bendy straw.
Which looks like a oil can.
Yes. So then that has another lightning bolt there, and she's obviously half scrunched up the can. Maybe it's an empty one.
I feel like she's just been... It's like half used.
Not half used, so it's just kind of sunken in from where she's been drinking it. Okay, I think that makes sense. So if we attempt...
Otherwise she's just leaving dirty stuff around her room.
Just in this little cupboard. So if we just open that, I'll probably have to take this pillow off so I can get in.
Awkward camera angles.
Awkward camera angles. So if I open this cupboard, there's only one shelf. So the diary, I think, can go on this shelf. I'll probably take everything out when I do try and turn the bed, because otherwise it would all just knock and possibly open and bash her in the head.
No, apparently it won't.
Oh, probably because the pillow's annoying. That's probably why they made the pillow as annoying as it is. And that can go there. And then this can go on the top shelf with the diary. There. And close that all back up. Yep, let's test this, see if it is the reason why nothing falls out. When I can get past the pink frills, that's the one downfall of these little stretchy ties. It's probably the most awkward part of putting the bed together. There we go. Yep, looks like she's not going to be bashed on the head by anything. That's good. So
before we go into the details, we're going to say the few negative things we found about it.
Okay. Yeah, Random wanted to mention the fact that when you turn this bed, there's a slight clunking noise when things hit against each other. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear it now because of the stuff in the cupboard.
It doesn't seem to actually be hitting the side now, the stuff's in the cupboard.
That's good. So that
basically what was happening was those bits were whacking against the side of there as it went down because it was slightly wonky.
Noise. All sorted now. The other part is that the mirror is completely useless because of how strange and distorted it is. You can see my corpse bride picture there. So yeah, there's a lot of fingerprints on here as well, and it gathers dust very quickly. And that's just from putting it on the bed. You actually saw me taking the safety thing off it before I put it on there. So if I actually go on to the details now, I think.
You also put the comb.
Okay. So on the bed, it comes with this comb thing here. It's actually very difficult to get it out the way that they've put it in here, so you kind of have to shimmy it out diagonally so it'll actually fit out of the gap. So I guess with details we'll start off with this comb. It's actually one for you rather than the doll, which makes a change. So we have patterns in colour on the one side, and then we have a block blue version on this side. I actually kind of prefer the block blue version, I guess. So I think
it's not completely block blue, there's silver there.
Except for the silver there, but there's no pink and it's not outlined. So I think I actually prefer this side, but it'll just stand in there like that, and we'll probably use that as like some kind of accessory case for Frankie's stuff. So the actual details of this, if we start off with the mirror, there's obviously a lot of stitch swirls and Frankie's skeleton.
I love the stitch.
And there's also a lot of bolts and rivets in the side. We also have the diagonal striping from the original boxes. So then there's a lot of cobwebs. There's one in this corner, a quite large one, and then a smaller one up here. The mirror also isn't a complete rectangle. There's lightning bolts shapes cut out of it in each of the two corners that don't have the cobwebs, and then I'm pretty sure that the design around the outside is kind of diagonally symmetrical, kind of like on playing cards and things, where it's the same whether you flip it up one way or the other. And my voice is going slightly. So this actually does turn completely 360 degrees. I'm actually going to have a lot of fun trying that out when Frankie's actually on there. So we have the skeleton for Frankie again on the end of the bed here, and then lightning bolts and stars again on this stripy background with all of the rivets. So if I pull up these 3 stars here, now there is an ordinary skeleton on the back of Frankie's TV, and if I turn the bed round briefly, she is watching the sewing channel. It says stitching up there with a little cotton reel. So she's obviously trying to improve in her stitching and tying of terrible knots, but hasn't quite gotten it yet. I'll click that back down. So then we have more striping and the circles from the original boxes again on there. So I'll get to the bedding in a little while. So first of all, on the crank, this part is actually designed to be a screw. So if we work our way down from there, there's a little skeleton shaped hook here. I'm assuming this is going to be for her bag. I don't actually have any of her accessories here, I don't think. So then there's a lot more stitch swirling, again in the blank blue without the outlining. I think that would be a bit overkill. So then we have Whatsit's little basket that we'll put him in a little while. And then we have a hexagonal base, which is all black and completely riveted all the way around.
Reminds me of Lego.
A little bit, it does kind of look a bit like Lego. So then we have the container for the comb, which is again covered in skeleton and swirly shapes and electric bolts, which are actually stitched and riveted this time. So, and then I think this part here is basically decorated the same as on the other side of the crank, and then we have a little turning wheel.
With a skeleton.
So if we go up to the actual bed, so shall we go from the bed itself or the cupboard, do you think? Let's go for the cupboard. So these little balls here, they're meant to be like the strobe balls that you can get with the electricity going through them. It would have been cool if they actually lit up, but we have these little squishy purple plastic things in there you can't actually get to because of the hard plastic sphere. And then the cupboard is completely jaggedy, kind of like a lightning bolt shape along the top. And then
I've just noticed when the light hits it, you can see through from the back, so you get some stripes.
A little bit, yeah. So you've seen how the cupboard opens. I'm assuming this would be like glass, which is even more dangerous with the swirliness of it and the fact that it's right by her head, but whatever. So
ooh, I'm annoyed by this one.
Yeah, what Random doesn't like about these pillows is the giant tags that come with them. If it had been printed smaller on a little small tag, or even multiple very small tags. But the same as with the Skeleton one that we have a giant tag, which is going to be difficult to hide when we actually do plan this as a proper scene for the Monster High dolls, so that can get tucked back under there for now. So so the pattern on the top part of the bedding and on the pillow, it's white with some more blue stitching and then with pink frills, which are insanely difficult to get the little things past to attach it to the bed. So the bottom part of the quilt or duvet cover or whatever it is that you want to call it, it's a kind of a patchwork plaid with houndstooth made out of lightning bolts, pink patches and lightning bolts, stitch hearts for Frankie's design, and Frankie's skeleton. It's all upside down, I'm assuming, so that Frankie can see it, because I'm guessing that this is supposed to be up at the top with the pillow, seeing as they are the same. So that's all attached to the bed so that when you swivel it around it's not going to all fall off. So that all works like that. These are actually clips so that you can attach them to Frankie's neck bolts and she can charge. And if I remove this again, because I'm going to need to so that Frankie can get in the bed anyway, the actual majority of the bed, this would be insanely uncomfortable in real life, I know. It's all actually metal grating. I actually have a mirror that has pretty much the same design. I'm not going to bother going to get that now because it's on the opposite side of the room. So it's all a kind of a metal grating and lightning bolts with pink and blue stripes, or with the dark outline, which is also raised, so that would be extremely uncomfortable. And then we have clips for her arms and legs. Okay, sorry about that, the battery ran out just then. So we're going to put the dead tired Frankie into the bed now, and what's in his little basket. So since this does a lot of turning, there are actually places for you to connect her arms and legs. To me it kind of makes it seem like some kind of either torture device or a bed from a mental hospital or something, but to each their own. So the ankles clip in at the bottom here, they just push in nice and easy like that. Her head's turned to the side because otherwise her ponytail's in the way. And then her wrists clip in to these little bits here. And then we also have some little clips for her bolts. Let's see if we can actually get them to both go on. So there's one there, one there. Let's see if it, no, one of them does not want to stay on. I don't know whether that's just because this one has awkward bolts, or if all the Frankies are not quite in the right place for that. Could just be because her hair's making her head push up. But okay, that's a bit better. Or not. Just fine. So
it's not important.
So if you can get it to stay, then great, but whatever. So then we'll attach the blanket back up here. It gives a whole new meaning to tucking you in. So there we go. And now Frankie can go to sleep in her little bed with her eye thing on because she can't close her eyes. There. And then we'll just wind that back for her. And what the hell, let's go all the way around. It's not like she can fall out. And then we'll put What's It into the little basket for What's It. And you know what, for the hell of it, let's just crank around again. I'm having far too much fun doing this. There, I'm done now, Frankie, don't worry. And then let's give What's It her shoes, because he's like eating them or something. As dogs do. So that is Frankie's bed, so feet are poking out a little at the end there. So our next mission will be to attempt to find somewhere on our shelf of dolls to actually fit this and see if it will actually go on there or not.
And then hopefully to get a Dracula or a coffin bed.